Jitin, coming back to you here, I want to talk about some of the technical enablers around this. And you mentioned programmability up front, for example. So is that available today? If it's not, what do we need to do to make it available?
Actually, before we go to programmability, I want to call out three critical enablers or technology enablers, and Telefonica Germany is well versed with it. One is obviously seamless adoption of cloud. The networks are going to be disaggregated. There is going to be a formation of edge, far edge, and regional data centers. And how do we maneuver workloads in a seamless automation way is going to be critical. And this puzzle still needs to be solved. And I believe that with 5G Advanced, the learnings we did in the early deployment of 5G SA, and especially the work we are doing with Telefonica, both on hybrid networks and public networks, is phenomenal. So that's one piece of the Lego piece is critical, is understanding cloud deployability in cloud. The second piece that, as Mallik was referring to, which is on-demand services, which is essentially maps up to slicing. The technology enabler out there is autonomous operations or autonomous building. I'm talking about orchestration. I'm talking about assurance. I'm doing open loop, closed loop, defining a service and assuring a service. Right? It's a very complex problem to solve from the telco standpoint. And then if you look at provisioning systems, if you look at inventory systems, you are now turning up with logical inventories. That in itself is going to get accelerated behind 5G Advanced. And that's why I was very excited upfront about that. This gives us a second wave of adopting autonomous operation the way it should be for a true 5G network. And the third piece is all about AI analytics, right? And with the emergence of AI and generative AI, and how do you infuse AI and use it as a technology enabler to autonomous operations and autonomous decision making. AI is a very powerful tool for decision making. And how do you can use causal frameworks, reinforcement learnings, frameworks of generative AI to take not only the cost out of the network, but unlock it to new vectors to industries and enterprise. And finally, we already touched about programmability a lot. So it's a building block. And I'm proud to say that often Telefonica Germany and us have been talking quite a bit about in a strategic direction on how do we maneuver all these building blocks from cloud to autonomous operations to AI-driven analytics and eventually to programmability, and how do we get to that final goal of serving the industries, enterprises, and consumers in a bigger way.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Jitin. So you've described some building blocks there. Mallik, from your point of view, how many of those building blocks have you got today, and what's the timeline for putting them together?
I think, look, first of all, Jitin outlined in terms of technology enablers, right? For me, when we started the journey about 3 years back, 3.5 years back, I think the biggest thing our learning is about people. If you don't upskill our own teams, right? Because we have been used to a lot of outsourcing, outtasking. That's kind of that's how we built it. If you look at the cloud, the way we want to manage, I mean, cloud on IT is done in a lot of places. Like we're running a massive, one of the largest European digital transformation on the IT side of it. We have built about 120 applications. We've migrated about 6 million customers already. It's a completely public cloud-based complete stack. I think it is never done in the industry. But to do those kind of bold moves, you need to over-invest on people and culture. The way we have built our networks, the way we built our on-premise will not work the way we want to build in cloud.
Yeah.
So that's on the even IT. Yeah? And then you start talking about network. Our belief is unless you bring core of your network onto the cloud, not the edges, you're not making a big difference.
Okay.
And that's the reason we've been working with both Nokia and AWS to build a commercially 1 million customer workload, completely packet core on public cloud. So that's the step we are going on right now. I mean, next few weeks time, we should be able to move a commercial traffic because the trial of doing cloud in the networks is over.
Right.
It's the time to really see it, manage it, operate it, right, and learn from it.
Got
Right,
it.
that's
So,
what we do. We're in a journey. Yeah? I mean, we're in a journey. We moved close to. I mean, our cloud spend used to be roughly about 1 million about 4 years back. Today, we do to the north of about 35 million a year just on a consumption. So unless you moved a significant scale, you wouldn't be able to consume, and then spend this kind of money. That's a big indicator for me.
sounds like we've caught you in the middle of quite a critical phase in this journey. So yeah, that's interesting.